It's wonderful to be here. This lecture series used to be called The Last Lecture. If you had one last lecture to give before you died, what would it be?
We want you to meet 46-year-old Randy Paush. He's father of 3, invited to give what are called The Last Lectures, a series at Carnegie Mellon University. And we read about him in the Wall Street Journal because in this professor's case, there is a meaning as he tells the students what he's learned about life by looking at death.
The doctors told me 3 to 6 months of good health left. That is what it is. We can't change it, and we just have to decide how we're going to respond to that. We cannot change the cards we are dealt, just how we play the hand.
I knew what cancer was, but I didn't know exactly what pancreatic cancer meant, and I didn't know how serious it was, and I definitely didn't know the fatality rate.
Randy Paush is an individual that represents and puts a face to this awful disease.
When I got my first diagnosis, it was a really ugly one. 4% chance of making it to 5 years.
I think it would be safe to say that there was a good 72 hours where I could not stop crying.
Pancreatic cancer is still the 4th leading cause of cancer deaths in the country.
If you want to achieve your dreams, you better work and play well with others. You might have to wait a long time, sometimes years, but people will show you their good side. Just keep waiting, no matter how long it takes. Don't complain, just work harder. Show gratitude. When you do the right thing, good stuff has a way of happening.
I mean, I grew up as a tremendous optimist, and I'm very convinced that this is a disease we can beat.
Well, the Lustgarten Foundation was started just about 10 years ago now. Our function, our objective, our goal is to find a cure.
When you talk about curing a disease like pancreatic cancer, the only hope we've got is the scientific method.
With enough dollars, with enough research, we will find a cure.
Pancreatic cancer is going to be a lot like AIDS or a lot like childhood leukemia. A whole bunch of smart people are going to have to beat themselves against that brick wall until they claw a solution and they get a little tiny hole in the problem, and then they keep peeling the brick and the mortar until they eventually get a big solution. And it ain't pretty, and it ain't quick, and it ain't cheap. It's not about how to achieve your dreams. It's about how to lead your life. If you lead your life the right way, the karma will take care of itself. The dreams will come to you.
And so we choose Professor Randy Paush, who says he didn't give the lecture for his students as much as he did for his children, Dylan, Logan, and Chloe, 5, 2, and 1 year old.
I, like any parent, am horrified at the thought that my kids might end up getting the disease that killed me. I mean, how could you not spend a little time lying awake at night thinking about that one?
And there have been breakthroughs. We have funded research that has found one of the genes that causes pancreatic cancer. And once we identify all of the genes that are involved, then we'll fund research to develop drugs to treat and ultimately to cure this fatal disease.
We are trying to live our lives and make things as normal for our children as possible, but at the same time we are preparing for the inevitable.
I mean, there's so many things that I want to say to my family. For the kids, it's important that you guys know that I never gave up, and you guys need to know how much I love you, and how much it saddens me to know that I won't be there. But you need to know that even though I'm not there with you in the moment, that doesn't mean I don't love you. And that doesn't mean that wherever I am, that I'm not looking and watching. And I suspect being incredibly proud. So I think that's enough.
Thanks to the Lustgarten Foundation, scientists have already identified one of the genes that cause pancreatic cancer. Today we're supporting a major research project to identify all the genes that cause this fatal disease. Now, the Lustgarten Foundation is funding research to develop a blood test to detect the disease in its earliest stages, when it is still treatable, and to ultimately find a cure. But we need your support. call 1-866-884-6287 or visit lustgarden.org. Together, we can find a cure.